Okay, now we're going to look at starting with the floor system. Um, we're going to look at the end joist or the header joist that goes around the perimeter of the building. I've got a couple of them put in already here. This is what we're putting in right here. It's a 2x10. Okay, and it goes on top of the sill plate just inside the wall sheathing, and we're going to put this in around the perimeter of the building. A couple of issues. I found it easier to work on this top of sill plate level if you haven't created one yet. Um, go ahead and create that. I turned off visibility of floors. Let's see, what's the view range? Here's my view range right here. So I've got it just a little bit above the top of the sill, and it cuts through because I wanted to be able to see the sill and the walls. Okay, so you may have to play with that and see how that works for you. All right, so what we're going to do is if you haven't, well, you probably haven't loaded it yet, so you're going to have to load a family. And it's going to be structural framing, wood, dimensional lumber, and you're going to load the 2x10. Okay, I've already got it loaded, so it won't do me good to click that. So you're going to load the 2x10. And then on structure, we'll go beam. You're going to choose, hit scroll down, get your 2x10. And the placement plane, I'm working on top of sill. So that's going to be top of sill. You go ahead and click chain because we're going to, create a bunch of them as we go around. Structural material should be fine. Some changes. Okay, so if you're working off the top of sill, change your Z justification to bottom. That'll pick up the bottom of the 2x10. And Y offset, I've got 1 1/4 because normal Y justification, this is like, left, right, center. I left it at origin. You could do center, you could do left or right, either way. I left it at origin, and I did 1 1/4 because 3/4 of an inch is half of the thickness of it, and then another half of an inch for the wall sheathing, because I'm finding it's picking up the wall sheathing, whereas it won't pick up the inside edge, it'll pick up the outside edge. Okay, and so I picked the outside edge of the wall sheathing, and you may have to see which way is it gonna. Okay, so it placed it that way. So let's back up 1 step and let's change that to, we can go a minus. And you may find that, you are going to find after you've got them all drawn in, you're going to have to go back and look at them. To get them lined up correctly, to make sure that everything's going in place right. And we'll go to that corner and see that put it inside of the wall sheathing. And we're going to go all the way around the perimeter of the building. Well, not into the garage, but, and I'm going to come to there. Okay, so I had already drawn around to that point. All right, so we got a few places here where, let me just come back to this corner and start here. So if you're curious, okay, so we look at this one. I need to drag that back out to there. Okay, so these should butt up against each other. And technically, this one should go to there. That one should go to there, because our joists are going to be running in this direction. Okay. So let's go to the other end and check it. Okay. Yeah, and see there's one of them weird wall miters. It's just not a good way to fix that because we got a 4-inch wall here and a 6-inch wall over here. It's just weird as to how that works. Okay, so that one's good. Um, okay, um, is that one good? I'm gonna have to pull a wall section in to take a look at that. Where's my section at? Okay, well, let's go take a look at that. So you can see here it is on the outside edge of the building, so that one's good. Okay, so let's see it lines up with the edge of my sill plate there, so that's okay. It's picking up that model there. So this one looks okay there, except for this end here. We got to look at that. Okay, and so I can see that that one is not right. So what we'll do, just select that one and go ahead and change that to 0. All right, so let's change that back to 0.5. It's got to be it's got to be a quarter of an inch for some reason. Okay, so I got it lined up on the edge of that. The walls were kind of wonky in here. On these front two walls. That end's okay. Um, because with this wall here at the front, I don't know. It just kind of wonky. Okay, so here's one that needs to move over also. Because that's up against that concrete there. Uh, what happened to it? It's still not right. Okay, so we'll kind of cheat on this one and go. We'll pull a section view onto that. Where is my section? I don't even see it in this view. Let me go to my floor plan. There it is. Okay, so it's already in there, so let me go to that. So you can see we've got, where we got this concrete slab overlap, we got some weird stuff going on. But anyway, this one, that's not the one I was working with. Here's the one I was working with right here. Okay, so I want to align it to the edge of that plate that we created. And it will lock it in place. And while I'm here, I'll go ahead and do the other side. So if you're, I don't want to do that one. I want to look at that one first. Okay, so let's go back to the plan view. Okay, so that's good there. This one needs to come down. I think it's just the way it was snapping. Okay. And that's good. Those look good. Okay. Because these front two walls right here are just kind of wonky. We just have to see how we can do with them. Okay. So you want to get your, get that 2x10 all the way around the perimeter of your building. It'll be 3/4 of an inch down from the first floor level on top of sill plate. And then we got to look at our stairway openings before we go too much further with this and we start building our floor system. So that'll be coming up soon.